the principles that some of the ones that we're going to go over today. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So what we're going to go, like the title of this is Small Things, Big Results. Now, one of the things that Dave didn't embrace in the beginning, but you really did when you found it out, was I always say the best advice I could give anybody is listen to some type of audio daily that is nurturing and positive for you. And it's not fluffy stuff. I mean, like for us as chiropractors, we were listening to chiro philosophy. We were listening to mindset strategies, mindset principles, reading mindset, business, everything to deal with our vehicle. Right. So if you're, whatever job you do, it would be learning tapes on how to become the best there. Because I'm sure in every profession, whether it be dental or sales, right? I'm sure there's courses and people that are at the top of what they do. So you listen to their audios and you do it every day. Because I realized when I would go to a seminar, or if you guys have ever been to a seminar or talk, when I was done, I was pumped up. Yeah. I was ready. In fact, I would go back home and I would do really good for like the first 1 or 2 weeks. Yeah. And then what happens? I'm right back to where I was. And I was like, wow, because I would get inspired or motivated and then I would just fall off. So I'm like, so why don't I, instead of going to a seminar, why don't I have a seminar every day? So with YouTube and with audios, and really it was even CDs back then, I just got audios in my profession. So for me, it would be chiropractic. And on chiropractic, on business, on philosophy, on mindset. And I just looped those things in my car. I didn't listen to music. When I worked out, I listened to them. And then I started, my quiet time reading about it. So we talked about brainwashing ourselves in the right thing. Because you know how you say, oh, you've been brainwashed by media? Well, we could brainwash ourselves in the positive
to create the reality that you want. You're being brainwashed one way or another, whether you think it or not, or you even think it's happening. Things are going into your brain all day long. They're creating a reality for you. So if you want to change that, you literally have to say, well, what do I want my life to be like? I want it to be like this. Find out who's the best in your profession. Start listening to them, reading. Mm-hmm. And it's so simple. Literally, if you just take 10 minutes a day to literally listen to something, watch something, just make the commitment to do that. I never thought it could change my life the way it did when he's like, it's just that. I'm like, that's it. All I got to do is listening to this and just, and I did it. And literally I saw my practice double. I saw my income double. I saw the opportunities in my life just from doing that one thing, reading and listening to the people, keeping myself in the right mindset every single day. And I just saw it exponentially just blow my life up. So I can attest to it. Something so simple can have such a profound impact on your life. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was just done on a daily basis. Yeah. So it's not you are what you continually do. So if I want to be a hero, it has to be a habit. If I want to be successful, success is a habit. It's not a once in a while thing, just like eating or anything else. So in the beginning, when you start doing it, the results are invisible, but they compound over time. So when you hear Dr. Dave saying his practice grew, his income grew, his life grew, it wasn't that the circumstances grew, it's he grew, right? So, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. And that's what happens as what you have in your life. I feel like my income and the success I have in my life is a result of who I became. So I became something and then I attracted the success. I didn't chase the success. Yeah. So I think that's the thing. We got it backwards. And if you think you're not being brainwashed, that's a perfect example of being brainwashed right there. Yeah. Because I feel like what's wrong with being brainwashed? I'm very disruptive when it comes to terminology like pride and ego and brainwashing. It's like, well, brainwashing, we're always getting brainwashed. So like we said before, if you listen to things that are positive for you in your profession or what you do, and it could be as a parent, how to be the greatest parent or the greatest husband to your wife. I mean, if you want to just better yourself and you listen to things and read things to better yourself in that, you get rid of the media and all the negative stuff and all the music that is just not good for you, and you protect your eyes from crap on TV or bad people in your life, and you consistently do that. Like you do the book thing. If you did 10 minutes of reading,
just 5 pages a day. At the end of the year, you read over 1,500 pages. How many books is that?
Right.
Right.
So three people. Person who doesn't read anything at all. Right. Person who reads five pages a day, 1,500 pages at the end of the year. So at the end of the year, who's the one who's going to probably get a better paycheck? The person who learned more. Would you consider yourself that you would actually be better in some way with a few books underneath your belt. Of course.
And in 10 years, you read 50, 70, 80 books.
Yeah.
You're going to be a completely different person.
It's huge.
Yeah.
When the average person doesn't read. That's just the book thing. Audio things. It's 3,000 hours, right? 300 hours, minutes of audio or something like that. But then at the other end, that's a person doing something. You have a person that doesn't do anything, but then you have the person, like, explain your accumulated disaster scenario. So this is because we're doing something every day. So you said
it's like if you want to have no success in your life,
zero success.
And let's do this. Just listen to I don't know, gangster rap music all day long.
Angry music all day long.
Don't read. Watch reality TV all day. Come home, eat all the wrong foods, and I guarantee you, in a year, you're going to be in a place you don't want to be. You'll be saying, "I'm not connected. I don't know where I'm going in life." You're going to just be totally in disarray. But if you do the exact opposite, that's a guaranteed recipe. That if you do that, I promise you're going to be unsuccessful. In the same way, it's a law. If you could do the things that we're saying, read a little bit. Watch the right things. When I used to come to Chris's house when I first moved down here, he didn't even have a TV, or he had like one TV and he didn't never watch. And I'm like, this guy doesn't have a TV in his house, and it was like crazy because instead of using that idle time to just do nothing, he would be reading, listening to audios, and I didn't get that at first. I was like, that's a little weird. And once I adopted those principles, I was like, I couldn't believe it was that easy just to do it. So in the beginning when I did it, I hated to read. If you told me I had to read, it was like, force feed. And that's what literally, I force fed myself to do it until eventually after a few weeks, my mind, because I kept doing it, eventually said, it's time to read. It's time to read. Right. But at first I didn't want to do it. Once I kept force feeding myself to do it, eventually it became a habit. So you're going to have to kind of break through that barrier and force yourself to do it for a little while. And eventually it'll become a habit. And next thing you know, you'll be on the track and you'll see it start. These new things just start happening in your life that you never thought were going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So it becomes a habit. You do it on a daily basis. And I think the real reason why we never like to read is because I didn't like school too much. So when I graduated school, I was like, I don't want to read another book again because I had a negative association with it. But when I looked at for 52 cents, I could get a book that in the wisdom in that book could totally change my life.
Well, like Tony Robbins said, it's pain versus pleasure. When I read that book, I never thought there was going to be any pleasure associated with it other than, I read this book. But when you start doing it in specific to your life, whether it's parenting, whether it's, chiropractic, whether it's business, and you start doing it, and then you start actually seeing things happening in your life as a result, you're like, this actually works. Now there's a pleasure associated with it, and it's a totally different,
But in the beginning, the results are invisible. But the thing is, when you start doing it over time, you'll see that compound over time. So that's why doing the right thing is always the right thing. That's why you have to use logic and say, well, if I read more and listened to more great stuff and self-educate myself, I only can get better. If I ate the right choices or made the right choices, I'm just going to be a better person. So the expectation is I'm just going to be a better me. That's but right. You won't realize that you'll go way further than you ever had. So now when you compound it over, 7 or 8 years for me, 5 years for you, you look back, your entire life has totally changed and you keep evolving and becoming better each year. So 10 years from now of more constant and never-ending improvement, this keeps you moving forward where you want to be in any area. And I really think when I read the books and listen to the audios, they talk to me exactly what I needed to hear. Meaning that if I'm having a rough day, I'll read that what I read that day or what I listened to literally talked to me. It was living and active, and it talked to me in just what I needed to hear. Or I listen to something and I'm working with the patient, and what I just learned is exactly what that patient needed to hear. So I started seeing it from a fourth dimensional standpoint, meaning that if I didn't read that, how many times I could tell you, Dave, if I didn't read that or hear that, I would have not been able to do or say something that you need to hear right now, or that patient needed something to shift their life. Then I realized, I almost felt burdened that if I don't read and and prep my body and my mind, then people are missing out on it too. So you'll find that it becomes something much more than the act. It becomes, the way I can describe it is a way that God is talking to me throughout the day. Everybody's waiting for his audible voice. He talks to me through the impressions from what I hear, from what I read, from conversations with good people and good friends. All that is communication with me, and I'm able to then bring it to, I guarantee a patient today, I'm going to go over the same stuff with them. Yesterday, you guys loved the 15-minute view yesterday. It was all because of a conversation I had that morning on text. So people, books, audios in our life, if we protect our hearts and bring the right things in, they're constantly speaking to you, and they all come together in a congruent manner to make you see things better and help more people. Plain and simple.
So I would say, how to do it? I mean, go on Amazon, find the people that are like the best in your profession, order one book, spend 10, 15, 20 bucks. I mean, the amount of return you're going to get on that is going to be so much, it's so huge.
Yeah.
The 20 bucks is going to mean nothing. Go but find some audios, invest in those audios, go onto a website, find out who's the best in your profession. Just order one audio and one book, and then start making a commitment to just doing 10 minutes a day of listening to audios and read 5 pages of that book. I promise you, in a month, you're going to say, I can't believe how much different I'm thinking, and I'm going to start to see everything unfold in your life in a better way. I guarantee it. I know it. It's a law. It's going to happen for you.
And as simple as that is to do, it's really simple not to do.
Yeah.
So the thing is, don't be the simpleton that doesn't do it. All right, just do it. You owe it to yourself. It's easy. Get the books on tape. I mean, YouTube is a great tool. Facebook video. Just find a video, play it. If you can't watch it, listen to it. You can replay these fuels. That's why we're doing fuels. You know why we do fuels every single day? Is because I know if you could hear something, even 1 minute of this on a daily basis, in a year you'll be an entirely different person.
Absolutely.
That's my. If you want to know my secret intention behind it, I know that's what it's going to be. So if I did one of these once a week, it'd just be like anything else. It's like if I ate good food once a week.
Right.
So this is why we say it's fuel for your mind, your body, and your future. So make sure you comment below, hit the share button, hit the thumbs up. Have an amazing day. Tomorrow is Thursday. Give me some comments below so I could fuel that talk for tomorrow. Thank you, Dave.
Awesome. Pleasure
One of
to be
my
here.
long-term friends whatsoever.
Thanks, guys.
Oh yeah, and on closing, the reason why Dave was here is actually what I was going to talk about before he came. But in life, you have 3 types of friends. You have friends that are there for a day. You meet them here and there, and they just fizz away. But they might be needed for that day. You have friends in your life that are there for a season of your life. It could have been easily like I just knew Dave in school,
Yep.
But then you have friends in your life that are there for a lifetime. And those are the relationships you cherish, you love, and that's really, it's kind of like you're in life with me. After 15 years and then 20 years, you realize, wow, these are people that are in our life. I mean, if you don't realize, like Dave has all this hair here, it was actually all here at one point. He had the greatest hair in the world. You would get your hair cut every week by Israel.
Yeah.
For 20 minutes, we go have to work out. You have to get it faded. So this guy, just to see the changes in all our lives and our kids and our families, it's been an amazing thing. So I appreciate you, man.
Awesome.
Well, guys, have a beautiful day. We're 15-minute fuel, where our goal is always to fuel your mind, your body, and your future. Don't forget to watch episode 11. There's the links. You're gonna love this one. Watch the first 2 minutes, the opening. You'll be so hooked. It's so killer. Jacob, you did a great job. Tim did a great job. Mac did a great job. I mean, they got the drone footages. I mean, it's so worth it. Share it with your friends and family. I am the biggest fan of that show, not because I'm in it, because it's just so cool. All right, we'll see you guys later. And.
That's great.